everybody, Mr. Odom here, and today I'm going to cover lesson 9.3, which is the surface area of cylinders. So we are going to try to find the area of the surface of cylinders. For this video, you will need a pencil, composition book, or notebook paper to take notes, and a calculator to help work out some of the problems. The learning target for this lesson is I can find the surface area of cylinder. So hopefully you can say that confidently after watching the video. And so I'll get started. So the surface area of a cylinder is the sum of the areas of the bases and the lateral surface. So that sounds very similar to what we've been saying about the formulas for prisms and for pyramids. There's just a little subtle difference. So when we're talking about the lateral surface area of a cylinder, all we're talking about is the area of the lateral surface. So we don't care about the bases when we want to find the lateral surface area of a cylinder. There's a formula for the surface area of a cylinder, and you see that formula right here. The surface area is 2 times pi times radius squared plus 2 times pi times the radius times the height. And each one of these pieces of the formula comes from looking at the net here. So if I look at the net, I see the base is made up of this circle and this circle. And I want to find the area of those circles. And I know the area of each circle is pi times radius squared. The area of this circle is pi times radius squared. So if I add those two areas together, well, pi times radius squared plus pi times radius squared, that equals what? That's right. That equals 2 times pi times radius squared. And so that is the first part of the formula. The second part of the formula comes from looking at the lateral surface. And when I make a net out of a cylinder, the lateral surface in blue is a rectangle. And to find the area of a rectangle, I already know how to find the area of a rectangle. That's length times width. So this red length right here, guess what? The length is the circumference of one of the bases. And then the height of the lateral surface is h. So this is the second part of the formula for the surface area of the cylinder. Okay, so that's the formula we're going to use. We're going to see it in action here as we work through. I think I've got 3 problems here. So for the first one, step 1, write the formula down. It's right there. Step 2, let's identify the pieces that we need. We need the radius and we need the height. So when you look at this drawing over here, what is the radius? Very good. The radius is 6 yards. Okay. And now what is the height? Right. There's only one other dimension left. And so that is the height of the cylinder. And the height of the cylinder is 9 yards. So we just take these two numbers and we plug them into our formula. So surface area of the cylinder is 2 pi. Again, we will use 3.14 like we've been using all along. We make that a 4. 2 times 3.14 times the radius squared. So times 6 squared plus 2 times 3.14 times the radius times the height of the cylinder. Okay, so all we have to do now is just use our calculator. 2 times 3.14 times 6 squared. Well, 6 squared is 36. 36 times 2 is 72. And 72 times 3.14 is, if you put in your calculator, you'll get 226.08. And that's yards squared. The area of the lateral face is 2 times 3.14 times 6 times 9. And when we multiply those numbers together, we get 339.12 yards squared. And then all we have to do is add those together, and we get a final total of what? Excellent. When I add those together, my final total is 565.2, and then I put my units on there, which is yards squared. Okay, so that's all we have to do. We really just need to identify the radius of my cylinder and the height of the cylinder and just plug them into the formula. Okay, so let's look at, let me get this picture here. There we go. Let's look at the next problem. So again, I have my formula for surface area. I need to identify the radius and the height. So what is the radius and what is the height of this cylinder? Very good. So the radius is 3 centimeters and the height is 18 centimeters. Notice that even when the cylinder is kind of laying on its side, the height is going to be the distance between the bases, the distance between these two circles. Okay, so let's just plug this into the formula. Surface area is 2, pi is 3.14, the radius is 3 squared, plus 2 times 3.14, again, times the radius, which is 3, times the height of the cylinder, which is 18. All right, and then what do we get? Well, 3 squared is 3 times 3, and that's 9. 9 times 2 is 18, and 18 times 3.14 is 56.52. Okay, for the next piece, 2 times 3.14 times 3 times 18 is what? Okay, very good. 339.12. And then all we have to do is add those together. And when we do, we get a final answer of, excellent, 395.64 centimeters squared. There you go. That's excellent. And so let's go back and take a look at what part of this question said. Let's find the lateral surface area. And to do that, which one of these formulas are we going to use? Are we going to use this part of the formula to find the lateral surface area, or this part of the formula to find the lateral surface area? Okay, good. We use that part of the formula. And guess what? We have already calculated it. It is right here. So the lateral surface area, if you're asked on a test or in one of the problems, the lateral surface area, remember I use LSA, that would be 339.12 centimeters squared. All right, so I'm going to go back up, And let's look at this problem. And so what is the lateral surface area of this cylinder? What is the lateral surface area? All right, it is 339.12 yards squared. Remember, it comes from this part of the formula for the surface area of a cylinder. Okay, so lateral surface area. All right, let's look at one more problem. So this problem, I got a can of peas, and I want to know how much paper do I need to put a label on this can of peas? All right, how much paper do I need to put a label on this can of peas? All right, so let me ask you a question. Do I care about the area of the lid, and do I care about the area of the bottom? No, I don't. In this problem, I actually do not need that part of the formula. And the reason I don't need it is because this part of the formula gives me the area of these circles. Do this. The one on the top and the one on the bottom. So I don't need that part of the formula. I just need this part of the formula because this question is actually asking me to find the lateral surface area of this can. All right, so what is the radius? It's right here. Radius is 1 inch. The height is 2 inches. So all I have to do is plug those numbers in to this part of the formula. Radius is 1 and the height is 2. And I simplify a little bit. This is just 4 times 3.14. And so the surface area of the label would be what? All right, very good. Excellent. 12.56 inches squared. Remember, your area is always squared. Okay, so for cylinders, that's it. You really just need to know the formula. Make sure you have it in your composition book or in your notes, wherever you keep those. And you just have to be able to identify the radius of the cylinder and then the height of the cylinder. And remember, the height is just the distance between the two circles of your cylinder. All right, we worked through a couple problems, and hopefully you can find the surface area of cylinders now. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope everyone is having a really good day today, and I will see you soon. It's Mr. Odom. I'm out.